Is the marketing funnel dead? On today's panel episode, I asked brand-side retail media leaders to tell me how they think customers actually shop in today's digital landscape. You'll hear from a former theoretical physics student who sees the customer journey not as a funnel, but as a wormhole, where shoppers can enter and exit at any point in the purchase path. Another leader emphasizes the explosion of touchpoints, arguing that brands must engage continuously before, during, and after the sale through enhanced PDPs and strategic use of reviews. And our third panelist champions the Flywheel model, a reinforcing loop that doesn't narrow like traditional funnels, but builds momentum through things like influencer content, social engagement, and advocacy, particularly on platforms like Amazon and Walmart. Ready to challenge your mental model of how customers find and choose your products? Let's go. Good morning and welcome to the Retail Media Breakfast Club. I'm your host, Kiri Masters, and every weekday at 6 a.m. Eastern, I bring you candid and real discussions in the world of retail media and marketplaces in just 10 minutes. So bring your own cup of coffee and we'll get smarter about retail media together. Now let's hear from Josh Clarkson, Global Lead for Retail Media at Mars and Chief Consultant at Edify Digital Commerce Consulting.
Okay, so if we go back in time a little way, I first started at university doing a degree in theoretical physics. And so I really like the idea that the consumer journey isn't a funnel. It's not the wiggle, the Google wiggle or anything like that. It's almost this kind of wormhole design through a business's marketing plans. So it's kind of large at the top for your awareness, your consideration, down to your conversion, but then actually it gets wider again as you go into your loyalty and your advocacy, because the value of those consumers through referrals, through sharing your brand, and through driving awareness of your brand through everything other than your own paid media is really important. So I've been playing around with that for a few months, and that's where my head's at currently.
If you're watching on YouTube, we've just put an image up to explain the wormhole. Now let's hear from Todd Weagent, Director of Sales at Masimo.
I think the difference in the consumer journey is there's just so many touch points now, and it's no longer just moving them through the funnel and it's the end of the story. It's brands need to engage with the customer before, during, and after the sale. So, things like we're adding FAQs to our PDPs. So we're reviewing reviews and commentary and going back and picking up that relationship. I mean, our goal is to have a relationship with that customer for life, but also their neighbors, their family members, and word of mouth is even part of the funnel these days. It's, you kind of think of the influencer, okay, that's one touch point, but your neighbor's a touch point too. And just the goodwill that a brand can bring by excellent customer service after the fact, or legitimately trying to engage with those customers, as opposed to, here's an ad, here's another ad, I'm going to retarget you over here. Oh, wow, you're searching for it. Let me serve up pay-per-click. You kind of have to spin all that stuff up into it beyond just that funnel. Because I would say the funnel traditionally is pretty much dying because there's so many more touch points.
Now let's hear from Julie Liu, Director of Digital Commerce at Ghirardelli Chocolate Company.
This is one where I think we can take a playbook out of Amazon and even Walmart now. And it's less of a funnel, but it's probably more of a flywheel, right? It's a continuous self-reinforcing loop. And I think it still starts with being top of mind for the consumer, but it doesn't narrow like a traditional funnel. So, maybe the journey starts now with social media or influencers. And then the flywheel keeps getting stronger because you make it easier to convert by focusing on the customer experience, by making sure it's easy to check out, and you've got content that is meant to convert. And then you're building advocacy through ratings and reviews and user-generated content. So I really see it less of, the marketing funnel is dead or it's linear, but to me now it's just more of a flywheel, like how Amazon and Walmart have positioned their businesses.
Well, that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Retail Media Breakfast Club. We meet here every day at 6 a.m. Eastern. So be sure to subscribe and get your daily dose of insights, trends, and hot takes in the world of retail media and marketplaces.